Commence primary ignition.
This is where the fun begins.
What is up, all of you Ugnaughts and Jawas out there, and welcome back to yet again another episode of Mando Talk. I'm your host, as always, Caleb Keller, and we have a massive episode for you guys today. DJ, me and you, honestly, we're not really that important this episode, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce you, DJ Foster, at Rebel Scum Texan. What's up, man?
I'm here. I'm living. I'm excited. Gonna try to stay on target tonight. All right, that's my plan.
There you go. Well, this is a pretty wild occurrence for us. We do have Wookieepedia on our stream with us right now. SE is the man of the hour from Wookieepedia. SE, what's up?
Hey, not too much. Thanks for having us on, you guys. We're happy to do this.
Dude, we are thrilled to have you, and again, thank you so much for offering. I mean, DJ, give some insight on how this even happened, because it really kind of happened because of you.
It was, well, yeah, I mean, it did, but at the same time, we're still not even here doing this unless Wookieepedia tweets what they tweeted. You know, SE, he says, hey, anybody on a Star Wars podcast, hit us up. We want to be on your podcast. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're jumping on this chance. And sure enough, Caleb gets in contact with SE, and next thing we know, we've got a show. And it's just an incredible way how this all works. And I think that, honestly, that's why I joined Twitter as Rebel Scum Texan, so that I can make connections with other Star Wars fans. And never in a million years did I ever think, oh, yeah, I'm talking to an admin over here at Wookieepedia. Never thought that would happen. So very excited to see that connection come to fruition. And that's really how we're here tonight, having a show with Wookieepedia. It's incredible. SE, I mean, do you want to add anything to that?
Honestly, just getting to reach out and interact with the larger Star Wars community over the past year has just been one of our favorite things to do. We've had a blast just kind of getting to come full circle right back to the fans that love this universe just as much as we do.
Let's go. Well, you found the spot. I mean, we're loving everything that we've got going on in Star Wars right now, and especially Obi-Wan Kenobi, which, by the way, if you did not know by the title of this stream, we are going to get into Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 4 predictions. Now, I do actually have a request. Something new that we haven't done. If you have, and this is to our live audience, if you have a specific prediction theory that you really, really, really want us to discuss, what I want you to do when you type that into the chat, use the hashtag Kenobi4. That way it stands out and it'll catch the eye of myself or DJ, and we'll know for sure to discuss it once we actually get to those predictions. But there are going to be some things that we do first. First we got to pick the mind of SE from Wookieepedia a little bit, and then we also want to get SE's opinions on, because now that we're at the midpoint of Obi-Wan Kenobi, we want to get the opinion of someone else, and then we'll get to those episode 4 predictions. So just wanted to let you know of that, and shout out to John Hare, Rafa, Sadis Broly, who are all in the chat. So glad that you're here. Let's get to it. So we've got some questions prepared for SE that we're just going to kind of get this kicked off with. And so first question that we had prepared for you, SE, is this. Many of our listeners, us included, obviously, rely on Wookieepedia to help make the canon and legends material make sense. So what we really would like for you to do is to give us some insight on your role behind Wookieepedia and the overall work that goes into the site.
I love this question. It's a topic that I never get tired of talking about. So I am SE. I'm one of our administrators on site, and all that means is that I have access to a couple extra buttons that, say, the average normal user doesn't have. By and large, my role is the exact same as anyone else. It's trying to help improve the site and make it better in any way I can. In addition to that, I'm also on our social media team. So you've probably interacted with me on Twitter if you're watching this. I also do our YouTube account, and I help with our Instagram, and just I'm kind of one of our very socially outgoing users.
Okay, nice. Well, I got a side question off of that, and then I'll pass it to DJ with any other questions he's got based off of that question. How many, I think I overheard, you and DJ may have been talking about this before we went live, but for our listeners, how many people are involved in Wookieepedia? Like, it's way too big of an operation for it to be one man, one person, one individual. So what's going on? Kind of peel back the curtain a little bit, if you will.
So I would say, and this will fluctuate because obviously people, have real lives outside of this. I know, surprising. I would say probably on any given day, there's probably upwards of 40 to 50 people that are making, some regular edits.
Wow.
And over the course of a month, that can span up to several hundred, depending on what's actually releasing. Because sometimes if someone's reading an article, they'll just quickly fix a typo. Others will come in and just write up one particular character that they really liked and then just kind of disappear. But by and large, yeah, I would say upwards of 40 to 50 plus on a daily basis.
Wow,
man, that's incredible. I mean, it's almost like operating the Death Star that y'all have as y'all's logo.
Yeah, for real. I now understand why the Death Star is the logo. It makes all the sense in the world.
It's the only vessel large enough to hold every one of us.
Man, I get it. Yeah. So I guess, I'm sitting here thinking about how all y'all are working together and making this happen. So if I could ask, I guess really I have like maybe two questions about how the process goes. So whenever y'all are doing new entries for stuff that comes out, whether it was like Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett, and now, Kenobi, and I know y'all are looking to Andor and Ahsoka stuff in the future. Are y'all just like watching? Do you even get to enjoy the episode before you update any articles?
Honestly, that's something that kind of varies person to person because we all tend to kind of look at things a little differently. Me personally, I try to kind of compartmentalize it a bit. So when I watch something read something for the first time, it's solely from the view of a fan. I'm not thinking in terms of like, how do we update the entire Obi-Wan Kenobi article?
Right.
But then once I've done that first viewing of it, then it's all right, let's kind of break this down. Kind of what do we need to do out of this? How can we best do it? Because everything's volunteer based, people just kind of work on what they prefer working. So what's our kind of best way to approach this? That's kind of my typical mindset going into it is first as a fan and then second as a Wookieepedian.
Okay. Wookieepedian. I love that. I love that. I love that. That's a great noun. So, okay. So I guess the same kind of concept applies to when a film, releases, like, the most recent one obviously was Rise of Skywalker. So, obviously you went and saw it, but so that means that you're not sitting in the theater, like, on your laptop, making notes to add to the site. You're clearly enjoying it and then adding it later. Right.
Yeah. That's normally my approach to it. Obviously, second, third viewing, if I could have, I would have slipped the laptop in, but I don't think I would have got away with that.
Yeah.
But no,
former movie theater employee. Yeah, I know you wouldn't have gotten very far with that.
But I'm a Wookieepedia and I need to.
Yeah.
For the lore.
Listen, if you were at my theater, I'd be like, yeah, go ahead, dude. Just sit in the back row. Like, that's how I would do it.
100%.
I would totally get it as a Star Wars fan. Well, that's really cool because I have a similar, I think Caleb does too. We kind of have a similar process where like, I don't take any notes when that first episode hits, or the new episode hits. Cause I'm just like, nope, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to enjoy it. Okay, now let's go back and we'll add all our fun little notes and thoughts as I go. So I like knowing that y'all, and especially you, have that mindset and perspective on when new product or projects are released. So that's a lot of fun.
So that's the only way to really approach it because, like, if you look at everything solely from an analytical standpoint of how do we update this, you're just going to get burned out. Everyone just needs to sit back and enjoy
I get that. No, I get that, man. That's good advice for any stage of life right there. I love
even
that.
For this small little community that we're trying to build up, that's something that I've even personally kind of struggled with, and it's nice to hear other folk kind of feel that way along the way.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's keep rolling. So you said, okay, we got this new phrase here, at least for us, Wookieepedian. You being...
That's one of our favorites.
I love it. I love it. As you being a Wookieepedian, you obviously have more knowledge than us probably about, I'm loosely saying probably, like you do. You have more knowledge on characters than me and DJ. So out of all of the characters featured in the Star Wars galaxy, which character flies under the radar the most and deserves more attention in your opinion?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I would say Thrawn, because that was just kind of where I started as a Star Wars fan, but he's also getting a lot of attention. So I don't know if I can really say more attention for him.
I'm liking you a lot already, SC, based on that answer.
I mean, if we go with the cursed knowledge that I always share with everyone that I talk to, by chance, do you have a web browser open right now?
I do.
Okay. I need you to type in on Wookieepedia.
Okay.
There you
We
go.
go to it.
Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, hold on. I'm not a fast typer. I didn't do well on that subject in school. You have the keyboarding class. That was bad. Okay, I'm on fandom site.
Okay, so type in ARGO
ARGO
dash 6. Just the number 6.
Yeah, it popped up. Let me see. Argo, is it pronounced Argo 6?
Yeah.
I don't know this character.
It's not a character. This is a non-canon astronomical object from an old reference book.
What? Okay.
Just read through it.
I mean, okay, I'll read it for everybody so we can all see it. So there's a quote here from something called the Galactic Gossip. It's the first thing on the article. It says, a molecular dentist on Argo 6 performing a routine molar cracking uncovered a tiny but complex farm in the mouth of one of her patients. What on earth? So you're telling me Argo 6 is just this, it says a terrestrial astronomical object. This is, what is this, Whoville? Is this Star Wars Whoville? Is that what this is?
This is the cursed bit of knowledge that I bring to everyone I talk to. It's from an old reference book from like 1993, from like where that had like a lot of old concept art and ideas. But no, continue. Go with the next 2 paragraphs there.
Okay, so we've got, let me see. All members of a family residing on the celestial body maintained miniature farms in their mouths. Everybody listening, brush your teeth, which help provide them with sustenance. The farm in the mouth of one member of the family contained fields of alfalfa, chicken coops, and a complex irrigation system. Honestly, kind of sounds like my grandpa's farm. At some point, that individual visited a molecular dentist on Argo 6. While performing a routine molar cracking procedure, the dentist discovered the farm, as I previously read. Subsequently, comments of both the dentist and the patient on the discovery were included in an article, August 8th, 6094 issue of the Galactic Gossip publication.
Wow.
Now, if I can get you to click on, you see where at the phrase "one member" is highlighted.
One member. I'm gotta find it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I clicked on it.
Click on that. This is part 2.
Unidentified. Okay, an individual was a member of a family. Oh, hold on, my screen refreshed. Okay, an individual was a member of a family that resided on the astronomical object Argo 6, all of whom maintained miniature farms in their mouths. At some point, the individual visited a molecular dentist, molar cracking, yada yada, alfalfa, chicken coops. To prevent a form of crop rotation, the dentist halted the procedure and prescribed mouthwash to defend against compost breath. What? The story and comments from the individual were recorded in the August 8th, 1694 edition of the Galactic Gossip publication. What is this? I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I'm so mind blown at this moment.
There's your little trip down cursed knowledge lane.
So you're telling us that you have this random knowledge as a Wookieepedian
Off the dome.
And here you are just knowing about Argo 6 and its weird dentist farm. Not dentist farm, tooth farm. That's what it is. It's a tooth farm. It's so wild that you just live with this information. And
I figure that I have to live with this cursed knowledge that I'm never going to forget. So I'm just sharing it with everyone at this point. We can all suffer together.
Man, this is not the kind of Star Wars trivia that I thought we were going to get into on this show. I was like, we'll talk about Thrawn or Tatooine. Yeah. No, dentist in the mouth.
Yeah.
And I should point out also that it also said, which included fields of alfalfa on the tongue, chicken coops lining the throat, and an irrigation system between the incisors.
Who did you write this? You wrote this.
No, I didn't actually. I know the guy who did though.
Wow.
Man.
One of our editors wrote up a bunch of articles from this reference book just for sheer entertainment value. And
goodness gracious.
I both love and hate him for it.
I kind of do too. I'm not going to lie to you. This is insane.
And if anyone wants to see more about Argo 6, the video on it is on our YouTube.
There's a video. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Well,
No, there's no imagery. Don't worry.
I sure hope not. I can't even go to the dentist. I hate the dentist. It's scary.
Now you hate it even more.
No, now I'm scared that there's going to be a chicken coop growing on my tongue or whatever. That's nuts.
well, I must say this definitely took a turn that I was not expecting. But hey,
Yeah.
Very dark turn.
hey, I really enjoyed that deep dark dive there.
And this was the point where you and all your listeners decided, well, Wookieepedia is never coming back on.
On the contrary.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
All right, well, let's kind of wrap up our introduction kind of questions here for SE, the Wookieepedian from Wookieepedia. Last question before we specifically get into our Obi-Wan Kenobi topics. And we like to ask this really anybody that comes on the show. It's been a while since anybody's come on the show, but we like to ask this a lot. Favorite piece of Star Wars canon from television, film, game, novel, or comic?
Ooh, if we're going strict with canon, I'm probably going to lean towards the novel, either some of the new Thrawn novels or the novel Lost Stars, just because I thought that was a very beautiful kind of way to slide into the new canon.
Lost Stars is phenomenal. If you're listening to this and you haven't checked that novel out, it is one of the best Star Wars stories out there. So I 1000% agree with that take there, SE.
I've not read Lost Stars,
You
but
need
I know Claudia Gray wrote it. And Claudia Gray also wrote my favorite Star Wars novel, Master and Apprentice. So,
Oh, very nice.
That one's still on my to read list. It's
it's such a
sitting
beautiful
on my shelf.
story. Oh, it's so good. I'm currently reading Brotherhood, so I view that story, Master and Apprentice, and Dooku Jedi Lost as one trilogy. I know it's not, but that's how I view it because how all of those characters are so well connected.
Brotherhood's also on my list to read, but we've Mike Chen's actually just kind of chilling in our Discord. We've talked a little bit of behind the scenes with him, and
wow,
he pulled so many different little references into that novel.
Yeah, I keep coming across little things here and there, and I'm only halfway through, so it's incredible the way that Mike Chen did write that when it all came together, and I'm sure he used you guys for reference a lot.
I would hope so.
Well,
I know that Felicity Jones from Rogue One.
Yes,
She read that blew my mind when I was like, Felicity Jones has been on Wookieepedia. The actress who played Jenna Erso, for those of you who are under a rock, behind the scenes, Rogue One, Caleb. She's like in a chair, like in the makeup room. She's like, "Oh, I'm over here on Wookieepedia trying to learn new things." Yeah, it's insane. And that was the second live action Disney project for Star Wars. So it's like, okay, if the actors and actresses in the shows and stuff are using Wookieepedia, what are we doing? It's just, I just thought that was awesome. So to get the name drop in that from, a Star Wars actor, it's got to be incredible. And you got to carry a little chip on your shoulder, right, SE?
I mean, you kind of hit that feeling where it's like, we're just kind of all doing this because, we're just passionate about this universe and we just we love kind of getting to dive into it. And it's, people actually know about us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad that we came across you and you joined the show for tonight.
For sure. And you're dropping like Argo 6 things that we don't know. We definitely don't know.
I'm going to have a really bad dream tonight.
For sure.
This is the point where half your viewers now are like, well, Wookieepedia is dead to us. We're going somewhere else.
No,
you're alive and well.
I think that confirms. I mean, I think if I was listening, take me out of it. If I'm viewing, I'm like, okay, they know everything.
Yeah.
That's the source that you go to for Star Wars content. So there
absolutely.
you go. There you go. All right. Well, listen. It is now time for us to get into some Obi-Wan Kenobi content because, listen, we are less than 24 hours away from a new episode. I know I'll be waking up super, super early to catch this thing. Can't wait for it. But, of course, before we get to those episode 4 predictions, which, again, I'll plug this since we got some people that have come in after I've mentioned it, make sure you use the hashtag Kenobi4 in the live chat for your predictions, theories, and we'll read them once we get to those, or once we get to that segment. But before we did that, we wanted to get SE's take on Kenobi so far, now that we're midway through, because those of you that listen to the show, you've heard me and DJ go on and on and on about this and that, so we wanted to get somebody else's opinion out there. So SE, I'll just open it up. We've got questions prepared, but if we don't need those questions, that's fine. SE, overall, what are your overall impressions of Obi-Wan Kenobi now that we are, in fact, at the midpoint?
I think first all I can say is, how the heck are we at the midpoint already?
Yeah.
But no, so far I think I can sum it up in just one word, and that's just wow.
I like it.
So obviously, so last week, when a couple of us were down in LA for Fandom's Community Connect, the show obviously dropped the same morning that most of us were flying in. So I kind of had that moment of, okay, I'm just going to stay up. I'm just going to watch the episodes. I'll just stay up. Then I'll do a 5-hour flight. And then I'll just do a full day of events at this conference. I have no regrets.
No regrets for staying up late and just,
it was worth it.
Did you at least sleep on the plane?
No. I think I got like an hour of sleep. It's impossible to sleep on a plane.
It's not easy. Yeah. I mean, the most sleep I ever got on a plane was like 2 hours, I think. And that was from Europe on the way back. And that was against the jet stream too, I think. So it was like, oh my gosh.
And to be fair, I mean, everyone who was attending this Fandom's Community Connect it's an in-person conference where they invite people from kind of like the top wiki sites to do like in-person paneling, in-person conferencing. We all went into this expecting, okay, we're just not going to sleep, period.
Sure. Well, it doesn't help that all these other fandom sites out there were probably also reporting stuff like Stranger Things, because it dropped the same day. So I mean, you got a lot of the things. The internet, how does it not break? At that point.
Oh, and the whole time we're all just up late chatting about wikis and about editing, just basically just nerding out about our own individual fandoms.
It's basically what me and Caleb do after we end every show.
100%. 100%. Well, I mean, speaking of nerding out, last week, Darth Vader. SE, come on, share your. I know you said wow, but what did you think about Darth Vader's incorporation to the story that we've got so far?
I didn't expect to see him that early, especially like going toe to toe with Obi-Wan. I figured they were going to do something eventually, but I didn't see them doing it that fast. Nor did I expect them to show just kind of how much Obi-Wan's skills have degraded over 10 years of not using them.
Yeah, that's a big takeaway of mine too, and hopefully, and I know we're. At least when I say this, I'm leaning into potentially a prediction. Hopefully we get that point where he kind of builds it back up. We'll see. But yeah, that was very surprising, like you said, that they met that soon. Now, are you of the opinion that they're meeting again, or do you think this was it?
I think they're going to have to meet again at some point. I would love to actually see them maybe be in a situation where they're stuck in the same area together, but they can't fight, so they have a chance to kind of talk a little bit about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to kind of get that back and forth discussion between them of like, why did you do it?
Yeah, I would love that too. I would absolutely love that too. Now, speaking of other things that are just coming off the top of my dome as far as things that have kind of taken the internet by storm regarding this series, thoughts on Reva and the Grand Inquisitor, as we like to use the quotes, death. Those are like the two main things that I've seen discussion on online. So how have you connected with the Reva character, and how do you interpret the Grand Inquisitor, quote-unquote, death in Episode 1?
Well, first, I'm going to shout out to the Just Ascendancy podcast over on the in the chat there. Yeah, let's get a Crook mention in there. That would be fantastic. And his freaking sweet hat. No, as far as Reva goes, though, I think they really did nail her character in terms of like what a quote unquote Sith is, how it's backstabbing, it's betrayal, there is no mercy. It's I'm in this for myself, not for all of us. I'm doing what's best for me. I don't care about you. And I think that's something that the actress really nailed with that role.
Do you think that as the writing team behind Kenobi goes, do you think that they were pulling, in some non-canon things specifically from like the Old Republic, when you look at things like Darth Bane and all these other, when there's like a Sith order where there's a Jedi order, do you think that they're pulling in elements of that to kind of play with the Inquisitor role?
I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing a bit of that and maybe kind of pulling some of that lore about kind of what the Sith historically are and what they kind of stand for and believe in. I wouldn't be surprised to hear that.
Yeah, because as soon as you said backstabbing, I thought of that, and then I also thought of Julius Caesar being stabbed by Brutus, because it feels, that's kind of the basis of Star Wars anyway, is a little bit of, history mixed with a little bit of mythology and so forth. So it just, I can see maybe how that's all tied in there, like I said, but just wanted to see what you thought as far as that being pulled in from the Old Republic.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. As far as the Grand Inquisitor's quote unquote death.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, it's like, oh, well, he literally just got stabbed in the stomach. He's not dead. Mm-hmm. Then I just see Twitter freaking out about like, oh my God, did they just decanonize Rebel? No, he got stabbed. People have survived worse. Anakin Skywalker had his limbs chopped off and dumped in lava. He's alive.
I mean, I just look at
it's just a flesh wound.
Absolutely. And I look at Grievous. I mean, he's a giant cyborg who operates with lungs, a heart, and eyeballs. I mean, come on. If we have General Grievous, this dude's surviving a stab wound to the stomach.
Yeah, no, I certainly, and again, I'm trying to tiptoe the prediction line. He's coming back soon, right?
Yeah,
right, SE? He's got to be coming back soon.
Oh, 100%. We're like 100% has to be.
All right. DJ, any other burning things that you kind of want to ask SE regarding the entire series so far before we actually get into episode 4?
Oh, well, okay. You said the series. I was like, man, my mind's, I'm still blown away by Argo 6, but no.
Well, and I do want to give, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I did want to give a shout out to Paul Murphy in the chat earlier when we were having that Argo 6 discussion, said, and I thought I'd read all of Legends. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
All right, DJ, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I've got nothing else. Man, let's roll.
All right. Well, since we're on that kind of topic, shout out to RFB, the Chiss Ascendancy, Wookieepedia. Hey, you're there in the chat too. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling over there too. I've got dual monitors.
Hey, TK. Hey, DJ, your brother's here.
Yeah. Hey, Gavin. Actually, I think my whole family's watching.
Hey, this is a big moment for Mando Talk.
It is
big moment. Okay, so let's get into Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4 predictions. I see some of you have used that hashtag Kenobi4. We will definitely read those, so keep bringing those in. If you got a prediction or theory, type it out. Use the hashtag Kenobi4 so it sticks out as we kind of scroll through the chat that has been going on throughout the stream. We'll get to them, but typically, SE, what me and DJ do is we go back and forward. Like we said before we went live, we were kind of sharing to you that we've got a list prepared. We'll share those lists back and forward, discuss it. And SE, I think you answered off air, but let the listeners and viewers know, do you have a list or how are you kind of handling this?
No, so when it comes to anything kind of new releases, just because we're so prone to kind of seeing leaks and spoilers on social media, and especially with me being on our social media team, I try to go into things as blindly as I can. So going into Obi-Wan, the only thing I had seen about it was just the trailer. That's it. And then I purposely avoided anything else that could have been to do with it.
Yeah, no, we're the same way. I think as we've been doing these predictions, because I think it's Bespin Bulletin that had those leaks or rumors for each episode that came out, and each time we do one of these Tuesday streams, we're like, look, we haven't read those, so if you know something, don't even allude to it in the chat. We don't want to know. We want to go in completely clean, so that way these predictions can be as authentic as possible. So yeah, we totally get that feeling. So let's go ahead and do this thing. DJ, who talks first this week? You talk first, I talk first?
I don't know. I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, so first prediction, Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 4. We got to stop saying episode because you know what I mean? You got to say part.
That's
anyway, all right, here's my biggest one. Given where we've come, I think this is genuinely my biggest prediction for this next episode tomorrow. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that where we've seen Obi-Wan, how far he's come, and where he's at now, given what took place last week's episode. Qui-Gon Jinn, he's showing up tomorrow. And I was reading a piece of canon from Claudia Gray, actually, and I think it was an excerpt from Master and Apprentice. I could be wrong. It might be from a certain point of view, one of those novels. But Qui-Gon, basically, it took him 10 years-ish to really break that mold to go from Force ghost voice to actually being a Force ghost. And I mean, specifically, in the world in which we normally operate within Star Wars. Because, you know, obviously he appeared to Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mortis during Clone Wars, but the Force was so strong in Mortis, it's kind of like a crazy X factor. So let's just move that out of the way. So when you look at what's taking place with Obi-Wan, I think it'd be hard pressed to not bring in Qui-Gon tomorrow, or at the very least Yoda. That's a stretch on Yoda because Qui-Gon seems a little more likely, but yeah. So I'm going Qui-Gon Jinn showing up tomorrow.
Man,
that is a good one.
I've seen a lot of talk online of people thinking that we're getting Qui-Gon, maybe some Clone Wars flashbacks, things like that. Like it's something that everyone's clamoring for. That's for sure. SE, thoughts on DJ's first prediction there?
I like the Qui-Gon one. I like that one. I think I personally, though, I'm going to go with, because obviously, you know, he's just sustained some pretty bad burns on his arm. He's going to need Ahsoka and a Bacta tank. And what normally happens when we have a Bacta tank? Flashbacks and Force visions.
The Bacta tank.
Flashback?
As we once called it, yes.
Let's get some Clone Wars flashbacks in there where we get both of them in kind of their actual Clone Wars attire. Maybe that would be pretty cool.
Man,
I can't even imagine.
So do I need to add that to the official Wookieepedia's episode 4 prediction? Clone Wars flashbacks?
I'm gonna go with that.
All right, I like it.
Yeah.
Let me get that on our little board here that we've got going on. Clone Wars flashbacks. I like it.
Via a flashback to tank, as we called it during our Book of Boba Fett reviews.
I like it. I like it.
I like it a lot.
I can't take credit for that. I think that I stole that from somebody on Twitter. I don't know.
And that's the hallmark of a good pun, is you just steal it from someone and keep using it.
Absolutely. Yeah, why not? You know, you got to puns are for stealing, obviously. And also dad jokes.
Hello, Rural Farm Boy. I see you in the chat there.
Also, hello, Bling Bling Plays, who just popped in and said hello.
Hello
there. All right.
If this is your first time chatting with us, subscribe to the channel.
Dude, great plug there, DJ. Yeah. You're just a pro.
Hit them subscription and subscribe to us also.
Yes, go read everything.
Channel.
Oh, y'all do have a YouTube channel.
Yes, we do, where we do live readings of some of our articles that we then link to on site.
Well, then go subscribe to Wookieepedia.
For sure.
And also subscribe to Mando Talk.
This is our plug. Subscribe to Mando Talk, and while you're at it, also subscribe to Wookieepedia on YouTube.
There you go.
Officially been told by Wookieepedia to subscribe to Mando Talk. What are you doing with your lives? Come on.
All right. Well, those are great plugs, gentlemen. I'll just leave it at that. My first prediction, RFB, I know you're always telling me to do this each and every single week. If it doesn't happen one week, just copy and paste, baby. That's my first one right here.
Let's go. We
get more flashbacks to understand the character of Reva. I've been dying for this one ever since the premiere. Like, I want to know. I'm enjoying this character so much, and I've gotten to the point where I'm just itching to know why she is the way that she is, and I just feel like it would naturally make sense now that she has Leia in her hands, and we're going to have maybe that dynamic to explore a little bit. So why not? Prediction number 1, maybe it'll come true this week. We get flashbacks to understand the character of Reva and her motives a little bit more. Thoughts on that, guys?
Let's go with Filoni's normal way. Let's go Order 66 flashback to the Temple Massacre, where we get a younger Reva.
Yeah, I mean, I think she was there in that first opening scene for Kenobi. I think she's one of those younglings, and I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who would disagree.
I will say, fun fact about that intro. So when I was watching that, I'm thinking to myself at first, oh, cool. We're going to get it's a young Obi-Wan training at the, no. This is not young This is not young Obi-Wan training. This is, no. It's Order 66.
You were gunning for a Qui-Gon Jinn appearance early.
I was just thinking to myself, oh, cool. We get to see, young Obi-Wan with all his oh, God, nope, we don't.
Nope.
And they're all dead.
That's hysterical.
All right. Well, DJ, we're ready for your number 2.
Oh man, I'm just I honestly don't even want to talk. I just want to. Okay, I'm trying to get I had 8 of these originally,
right.
but I'm trying to narrow them down, and I narrowed down 3 up front that I really want to see. But here's my next one. I think Reva will take Leia to the Fortress Inquisitorius.
Ooh.
I like the sound of that.
given what we've seen in trailers and given what we saw last week and adding all that into the giant cauldron, if you will, and mixing that up, let's give Obi-Wan a huge reason to go to the fortress. Now, if it's not Obi-Wan going to the fortress, maybe, like sub thought here, Reva will turn away from the Inquisitors. I don't want to say to the light because she clearly hates Obi-Wan, but turn away from the Inquisitors or be betrayed by the Inquisitors and have to escape with Leia.
Man,
something like that.
I think we could definitely get some good infighting going.
Yes.
I really like this, DJ. Like, I got kind of chills when you said it, honestly. I think that makes sense. It'd be great.
I mean, if you look at what's happened thus far,
right? Well,
the evidence is there.
And think to the trailers that we've gotten. So far, Kenobi's done a phenomenal job. Like, almost every frame from the trailers we've now seen. So, like, we're going into this back half of the show, of the season so far, completely blind. But there are some Reva shots at the fortress that would certainly make sense there, DJ. I think you might be onto something.
Unless they just throw those out the window and they hit the cutting room floor. Only reason my whole prediction's based on trailers, honestly. Let's just be real. And they mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. So this could be worthless when it's all said and done. I'm gonna give it over to SE. What do you think? And then your next prediction.
Next prediction, let's go definitely, if not another Jedi appearance, some sort of Jedi reference, because we've got those kind of little carvings in the walls. We got the mention that Quinlan was here and he helps out sometimes.
Crazy.
But knowing them, they're not going to make it that obvious. They're not just going to say, they're not going to mention Quinlan in this episode, in the last episode, and then immediately have him appear. They're going to drop somebody else in front of you just as a surprise.
Just to drop down from the rafters with their own hello there on Kenobi. Yeah. Is that what you're getting at?
Also, can we get a good hello there moment?
Okay, and I'm so glad you said that, because I watched episode 3 again, and when Leia and Kenobi are talking to, what's the Freck?
Oh, yeah, the guy in the speeder.
Yeah, and Leia's like, say hey, father, or whatever, and he says hello. I really thought he was going to say hello there for a second. I got really excited.
No, that's too easy. That's
the last thing I want in this series is for Obi-Wan Kenobi to say hello there.
Really?
It's overplayed.
I need it for the GIF.
I mean, I get it for a GIF, and you're able to use it to troll and everything else. I get that. I
just need it solely so I can continue trolling people from our official Twitter account.
Just modern Obi-Wan, not Alec Guinness, 2022. Just let him, that hello there.
There you go. Well, I like the Jedi references for sure that you're adding to your prediction list. It makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
You know what? Let's pull a 180 and let's actually have Darth Vader say hello there and have Obi-Wan be like, Darth Vader.
Dude, okay, I'll take that. That's hilarious. if he walks up and he's like, hello there, and Kobe's like, that's my line. And they go at it.
Oh man, that would be great.
Oh my gosh. They better not do that.
No, they probably shouldn't. All right, I think we're ready for my number 2 here, my second prediction. This is kind of broad, but after I finish typing it, I'll try to explain like where my thought process on it is. And it's the fact that Obi-Wan begins to rely on the Force in this episode. Now, I just kind of jotted here on a piece of paper kind of my ideas on what that might look like. I can't decide yet if it's like maybe he's starting to connect with Qui-Gon, if it's him having those flashbacks that we've kind of teased up kind of collectively here, or maybe at this point he just now has a personal motivation. He knows that Leia has been taken and he needs to connect to the Force to have enough power within him to get that mission done of saving Leia. So I haven't decided which of those 3 I think it's going to be, but regardless, I think at some point Obi-Wan, we see him connecting with the Force a little bit in tomorrow's episode. Thoughts on that, gentlemen?
I think that's a safe bet. Okay. I think that's a really, really safe bet. I mean, it's that we're in the downhill stretch here, and it would be unwise, I think, for the writers to go this entire episode without Obi-Wan doing something with the Force. I mean, I know we got something in episode 2, but like that's not a whole lot, you know. And then you get to the lightsaber in 3. The next step would be, you know, something more of a connection, I think. And I think that's a good call.
All right.
Yeah, I think he's gonna connect in some way. And I think maybe what we'll find is not so much that his abilities have degraded, is that he's just maybe repressed that connection. And now that he's first of all caught Leia with the Force, he's gonna maybe have that moment where he reconnects and kind of finds himself again, and that kind of unlocks his abilities that he's kind of masked all these years to protect himself.
I mean, I see it a lot like Luke in The Last Jedi. And a lot of people don't like that comparison, and I realize that. But Luke has closed himself off from the Force. You know, the parallel is, I think, very necessary. I mean, come on, Kenobi, he's been in the desert for 10 years. You know, of course he's going to be in his fields and not want to do certain things. So it makes sense that he would be closed off to a certain degree before he steps back in. So I think it makes perfect sense that he would step in now, like you said, Caleb.
Yeah. So I think after kind of hearing y'all talk, I'm leaning toward, I get that he's got motivations to connect to Qui-Gon, and we're probably going to get flashbacks, but I think it would make sense narratively with what we've gotten so far that Leia is really the real reason that propels him to make that connection. So I think now that I've heard y'all talk, I'm leaning toward that third option that I listed there. All right. DJ, no, I don't know who's next.
I think it's me. Okay. I think it's me.
All
yeah.
Right. What's your number 3?
I'm glad you brought out Leia being the thing that really gets him back into the swing of things here, because my next prediction is that Ned B rescues Leia from Reva.
Ooh.
I absolutely fell in love with this droid last week, and my inner Nickelodeon kid, because I don't know if anybody ever watched Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
100%, man. You're right up my alley.
But Ned Bigby was his name. And I was like, this dude's Ned Bigby. It's the robot's name is actually Ned Bigby. And I loved Ned B.
I'm never
so
gonna
much.
unsee that.
No, it's the first thing I thought of. I was like, it's Ned Bigby, you know. It's just and by the way, Devin Warkheiser, who played Ned Bigby, you can actually go download his music on iTunes if you really want to, because he's still producing music and stuff. And I thought that was interesting when I learned that last year. Free random Nickelodeon information. Anyway, my biggest reason for this is he wasn't with Leia in the tunnel. He went to go help Obi-Wan with Tala, but also we see a shot of something exploding behind him in a trailer. So it makes sense to me to think that Tala, Obi-Wan, and Ned B will maybe get together and go try to find Leia, preferably at the Fortress Inquisitorius. But if not there, you know, back on where were they at last episode?
Mapuzo.
Oh man, Mapuzo. Thank you.
The mining one, yeah, Mapuzo.
Yeah, I totally drew a blank there. But anyway, if not at the Fortress, they go rescue her. I think he's going to be a major factor in, you know, the rescue there.
I like that. I have Ned B later in my predictions, so I'll hold thoughts on that. So I'll pass it to SE.
All right, you know what? For third one, let's go with something unrealistic for the third one, just for fun.
I like it.
I want to see an Imperial class Star Destroyer coming out of hyperspace over a planet.
Okay. Just come out of hyperspace and just be there a la Rogue One's ending?
Oh, yeah, and because there's already this kind of side story about these kind of individual rebel cells helping people escape. So it wouldn't be impossible for there to be a little bit of kind of a side moment of Darth Vader taking out a rebel cell.
No, why wouldn't it? You know, we saw Thrawn do that in Rebels. Why can't we do that here?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That might just be my inner Star Wars or my inner Star Destroyer nerd being like, hey, let's do this.
Okay, quick question then. Do you actually just have random Star Destroyer information that you just hold on to at all times?
Whatever you can find on Wookieepedia, probably.
I'll be right back, guys. We're going to go read the entire Star Destroyer article now.
Oh, man. Well, I like that because that is one thing that and I think we did this, DJ. We talked about how it was possible to see the Death Star being like almost being completed kind of at that point.
Yeah.
Which I think it gets completed in Rogue One. So we're still not quite there canonically.
No.
But that's just something that I think we want as Star Wars fans naturally, is like a connection to that overarching Imperial plan. So, I mean, if they throw a Star Destroyer in there, I'll be certainly happy. That's for sure.
It'd be great to get like Vader's Super Star Destroyer from Empire Strikes Back even. I mean, it'd be a small thing, I think, in the grand scheme of the show, but it'd definitely be something worth watching and seeing. You know, it'd be really a lot of fun, I think.
Let's get an SSD under construction.
Yes.
That'd
be awesome.
Cool. That would be really cool. Okay, let's keep going. We're ready for my number 3. Well, actually, I have a different number 3, but I'll go ahead and do the Ned B one since we kind of touched on that earlier.
Sure.
I have that Ned B sacrifices itself to help Obi-Wan, Tala, and Leia escape and head to Jabim. I think that's kind of where this episode ends. So
I think that ties in well.
That breaks my heart a little bit because, like you, I love Ned B, but I could see a kind of sacrifice scenario going on. And again, I based that prediction off of that same scene that you saw, DJ, from the trailer.
Well, just because he rescues Leia doesn't mean he can't sacrifice himself. And I think that's totally okay in that sense. I mean, he's aware of what's going on. I mean, he was ready to throw down, you know, in this past episode. I mean, he had a hammer behind his back.
Yeah, he was basically Thor of Odinson.
He really was. He was Thorbot. You know, he was ready to go. He should change his name to Thorby. I don't know. That's stupid. Forget I said that. No, I love that thought that he would sacrifice himself. I mean, we kind of saw K2SO do that in Rogue One. I keep referencing Rogue One on this episode. I don't know why. It's just right there in my head.
It's a great story. It's a great story.
Yeah. I love that movie.
All right. Well,
any thoughts from you?
Yeah.
Any thoughts from you, SE, on that prediction?
Not in that one specifically, but I'm going to call out a joke one that one of our users just made in the background here from Virgins. He says, I predict this is the episode where it's revealed the entire show has just been a nightmare.
Oh, gosh.
None of this actually happened.
Oh, man. I'd be so upset if that happened.
For sure.
It's just George Lucas waking up from a fever dream. He starts to float like Battlefront Vader.
I'm also, you know what? Just for fun, I'm going to give a shout out to Jace, who I believe is also listening who's also watching right now, and will probably be messaging me momentarily to say what the hell. No, but I think that's probably a good prediction to go with. Beyond that, I don't really know. They've been so good with shows as of late, just making them so hard to actually predict.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah. I
mean, you think
you
one thing's going to happen and then the complete opposite happens.
Oh yeah, like I had no plans to see 2 twin huts in Tatooine, Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't think anybody did.
SE, just know we're never right on these things, but it's a ton of fun.
No, we were right that one time, Caleb. Tusken Raiders rode speeders, and we got that one.
Dude, we did. That
is a pretty good prediction.
That was my favorite prediction I've ever made. Cannot believe it came true. I need to just tattoo it right here. I got a prediction right.
It's still one of my favorite scenes in the entire show is him just teaching Tuskens how to ride speeders.
Oh, and I know that we're not talking about Book of Boba Fett,
and then them giving their knowledge to him in exchange for that.
Yes, thank you. It's like somebody was playing with action figures. You know, it was perfect because everybody's had the Sand People or the Tusken Raider and then maybe stuck it on a speeder and it's like, oh, come on. That was me as a kid anyway. I don't know about anybody else. I'm sorry. I'll geek out about that until the cows come up. Anyway, I should probably give my next prediction.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Oh man, I only picked out 3, but okay, I got 2 more and I'll get those ready. But I think that this next one should be the Grand Inquisitor will finally reappear. The old Grandy. Yeah. This is another copy and paste for me. Gosh, Grandy. I hate that. SE, you weren't here, but Caleb called him Grandy like last Tuesday. And I was like, did you really just say Grandy? Like,
it's going to stick. It's going to stick.
Just on the Wookiee and on the Wookieepedia entry, just like Grand Inquisitor, or as he's also known as Grandy. Don't do that. No one will like that.
No.
People like, really?
We got to create a redirect now to Grandy, to the Grand Inquisitor.
Oh, I love it. But yeah, I think he'll show up. I read somewhere that, Powans have 2 stomachs because why not? It's Star Wars. That and there's the Fennec Shand option, as I like to call it, or the General Grievous option, I guess, if you really want to go that way. And there's got to be some little clue in Rebels as to what's going on in his torso to have kept him surviving. I don't know. I just recently watched season 1 of Rebels, so I didn't pick up on anything. But then again, I wasn't expecting old Grandy to die, or die. So I'm thinking he'll show up. Don't know how, don't know why, or how they're going to work that out. But I feel it in my bones. I think it's going to happen.
There's a tremor through the Force.
Absolutely, there is.
Yeah.
Always. You know what? I'm gonna go way out there for my next prediction. I'm going to my personal wish list on this one.
Do it.
I want to see Obi-Wan have to look something up and look up something on a console on a screen that's very similar to like the layout of Wookieepedia.
You just want Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan to just get on Google and look up Wookieepedia.
I just want, because there was an episode of the Clone Wars, and I can't remember exactly which one, where it was on a background console on a starship's bridge. There was an entire Wookieepedia article copy pasted in Aurebesh.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. One of my favorite moments. I want to see something like that.
Did you write that article?
No, I did not. Somebody
that close.
Oh, but that was a great one.
Okay, so Essie, repeat that one more time as far as me typing this out. What's he looking up?
I can't for the life of me remember what the episode actually was offhand. But let's have Obi-Wan. He's going to be looking through some sort of a galactic database.
So he just uses is it called a Coronet or whatever? Or HoloNet?
Yeah, let's have Obi-Wan looking up something about Darth Vader or something about let's have him looking up news articles about Darth Vader.
Okay.
Now that he knows that Anakin is alive.
Just doing his homework. Just doing homework. I love it.
Virgins has said the episode where there was a Wookieepedia article in the background was Cat and Mouse, the Clone Wars episode.
Oh, that's in season 1, isn't it?
Cat and Mouse. I
think that's season 1.
I don't think that. I think it. Now I can't remember actually. And
if it's not season 1, it's one of those random, out of order chronological things. But it's early on in the series. I know that.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that was out of order. But so Cat and Mouse is the one where you'll see a Wookieepedia article in Aurebesh in the background.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go check that out for sure.
I'm supposed to go home and help my wife take care of our child, and I'm going to be distracted now because of all of this.
A lot of information that we are very much interested in is going to go down after this stream. All right, where we at? DJ?
I don't have a clue.
I think it's me. I think it's me. I'm up. Number four. Okay. I switched it up. I remember now. Okay, so like you, DJ, the Grand Inquisitor arrives. I'll just say that just to make it short and sweet.
He arrives.
The Grand Inquisitor arrives. Now, I don't know what this is going to look like because I have no clue where his body is. Is it still there?
It's just on Mapuzo.
What's that planet again? Dayu?
Dayu.
Yeah. Does he just all of a sudden do a sit-up, get his lightsaber out, twirl it, and helicopter his way off of the planet?
Let's get a helicopter lightsaber now. Let's get a helicopter lightsaber.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Okay, no, I actually kind of want to add that to the list. I'm
going to put
in parentheses, helicopter.
Inquisicopters is what they're called online. Inquisicopters. God, I'm such a nerd. Okay.
Helicopter lightsaber appears. 100%. It's happening.
Go with that one.
It's happening.
Oh boy.
You heard it here first on Mando Talk.
Speak it into existence, my friend. Yes. Oh my goodness, that's hysterical.
I agree with you, DJ. I think in some form old Grandy's going to get teased. I think it would make sense maybe toward the end of the episode, you do see just his eyes and all of a sudden the yellow and everything like that. Kind of Vader-esque. Episode 2, I think, is when we got that Vader tease at the end. Maybe something similar, not as grand and big because obviously he's not Darth Vader. But I think that would make sense. I think that
it makes good sense too. I don't know if it'll be at the end of the episode. I think if we're going to handle business with Grandy and Reva and all the other Inquisitors, let's do that in this episode. So 5 and 6 focus more on Vader and Kenobi.
I like
because that's what we're all leading up to. That's all we want. That's what Kathleen Kennedy has been has been giving to us and showing us and saying, hey, this is what's coming. Just get ready for it. And everybody who's watching last week's episode and still saying that's not the rematch we were promised, you just wait. Your prequel loving mind will be blown. I swear. I know. Okay. Well, I'll give my final prediction. I'll just stick with 5. And honestly, we've all kind of talked about all my other predictions. So I think all of mine are kind of weaved throughout this episode, but this one's a little different. And I'm going to say now, obviously Obi-Wan's clothes got burned up in this last episode. So I'm thinking that Obi-Wan will be sporting a new outfit that resembles Alec Guinness's outfit from A New Hope. I think in my I wrote this like days ago. I think I wrote this last Thursday or Wednesday, but they released the character posters of Vader and Tala and Ned B this past week. And the one in Vader's eye shows a hooded Kenobi with no lightsaber lit. And that hooded figure in Vader's eye on that character poster really said, they're telling a story within these character posters. I think most everybody has come to believe that. But, the hooded Obi-Wan is not something we've seen a whole lot. Episode 1 for a minute. And then episode 2, it was raining. So it's not really, there's no reason to not wear a hood in that. And then episode 3 for like a second before he jumps down to fight Grievous. And then, of course, we've got hooded Obi-Wan a lot in A New Hope, I feel like. So it just makes sense to think, okay, he's going to show up with the hood on and it's going to look epic. Not to mention that concept art where he's wearing the hood and they're fighting in what looks like lava, on that first big piece of concept art we got like forever ago. Mm-hmm. So Obi-Wan, new Alec Guinness-esque outfit.
Ooh, I love that.
That is a solid guess. I think that is a solid prediction.
We got to get to that point, I guess. I mean, it makes sense because his stuff he wears in A New Hope does not look like it did in the prequels, and it definitely doesn't look like it does right now. So
yeah, the only thing. Sorry, SE, go ahead.
I think the other cool thing though is like we saw how Obi-Wan's skills have kind of diminished and been repressed over years, but we also kind of saw the same with Vader. I mean, he wasn't moving as fast as Anakin would. He's still coming to terms with his new armor, with his new body, with learning how to fight with all of these now mechanical limbs. It's not so much like a one-sided thing. They're both coming to terms with this new reality for themselves.
Yeah, there's great little nods to Anakin trying to adapt to his arm in Brotherhood, in the novel Brotherhood. He's still not. It's only a few weeks after Attack of the Clones, so he's still trying to learn how to use his mechanical arm. It would make sense that even 10 years later he's still trying to adapt. I could see that being a major issue for him. I like that.
Yeah. Y'all are speaking good soup right now. Good soup. Good soup. All right. SE, number 5 for you.
All right. Final prediction for me.
This is why we write ours down.
I want to get. This is again off my own wish list here. This is SE's. This is SE's personal wish list.
Sure.
If we're gonna go something with more rebel cells, I want to see some old separatist hardware being used to help with this new network that's helping people get out. Maybe even say like a munificent class star frigate uses a way station or something.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that'd be neat.
Something you've got all this deactivated hardware throughout the galaxy now. Let's put it to use.
And a lot of it's just sitting in a junkyard waiting for Cal Kestis to pick it apart. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. Well, not at this point in the timeline, obviously.
But or you know what? Or Imperial Venators.
The Imperial Venator class.
Let's get some like Imperial Star Destroyer gray Venators.
Ooh, that'd be fun. I see. This is why we need to talk more nerdy stuff around here. I mean, we're getting into the semantics of things. And
we are.
That's where I live.
Getting sweaty.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to change T-shirts.
Well, I would certainly love that connection. Some more prequel, like Easter eggs, I guess, for all of us prequelists, like me and DJ SE. I'm assuming you love the prequels.
I love everything.
There you go. My kind of guy.
So glad you said that.
All right, let's get to my last prediction. It's a pretty safe one, but I definitely wanted. It was really kind of a safe way to round out my 5 predictions here. But before I say that, real quick, one more shout out. Make sure if you want us to discuss a prediction or theory, use the hashtag Kenobi4 and then type that prediction and theory in the chat. And then after we discuss my last prediction, we'll start scrolling through there and discussing your predictions. And thank you so much to everybody that's checking out the channel, especially if it's your first time. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button, because clearly you can tell we have way too much fun doing this. And if you like having fun doing Star Wars stuff, this is the place for you. Okay, 5th prediction, really safe one. Darth Vader continues to assert his dominance. I just feel like that just natural, makes sense that he's going to continue to connect to this story. I'm interested to start getting his point of view as far as him preparing for the finale of him and Kenobi yet again. Because we know like how Kenobi is right now. He's struggling. He's not connecting with the Force. He's hiding, all of those different things that we've kind of discussed throughout this stream. But we don't really know. I mean, obviously we know that Vader is the guy right now. But I want to get inside his head a little bit more just to see where he's at in these 10 years that have now passed. So Darth Vader continues to assert his dominance, but more specifically, I think we start to get a little bit more of his point of view in this story.
I think it makes perfect sense. We need to see a little bit of a dive into Vader's life. We've seen a lot with Kenobi, which obviously it's his show. He's the namesake. But yeah, we're fighting Vader here. So we need to see a little bit, even if it's just small things, flashback, or I don't know, the helmet goes back on or something. I don't know, just something.
Yeah, agreed. And I would really love, speaking of that, I would really love flashbacks. I know that didn't make my predictions it did make it for Reva, but it's something that you two have kind of touched on, is getting a flashback of Obi-Wan and Anakin. And I think earlier today in our Discord, we had some of our Discord members saying Ahsoka. Gosh, that would be great. But yeah, I would love that. So, SE, what do you think about Darth Vader, and maybe are we going to get more behind? Obviously, I think we're going to get an appearance, but do you think we'll maybe start to dive into his brain a little bit?
I would like that, because obviously we've seen how he's a lot darker, how he just randomly murdered somebody as he's walking down the street. I think it would be great to have an episode just focused on maybe some flashbacks about his last couple of years with the Empire and kind of coming to terms with everything.
That would be great. That would be great. Which, hey, recently Hayden Christensen said he was up for a Vader spin-off series. That'd be cool.
I would like that.
That'd be cool for me. DJ's kind of shrugging a little bit.
I mean, of course I'll watch it, duh. But like, is it necessary? Oh, really? I mean,
I think they have the opportunity in this show to do what we would need to see out of like a side Vader story. So I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, we got 6 whole movies about the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention one epic 40 seconds in Rogue One, I mean, there's a lot already with Vader, and I'm not going to deny seeing Vader. Of course, I'm going to love to see Darth Vader. I mean, he is Star Wars, Yeah. When I think of Star Wars, the first thing that comes to mind is Darth Vader. But do we need it? No. Am I going to deny it? No. I'll accept it, and I will love and cherish it within my heart like I do all things Star Wars.
There you go. Jace in the chat says, more Vader, please. That'd be sweet. Yep, it would. More Vader. The more Vader, the merrier.
Jace, I know for a fact you haven't seen it yet.
Jace hasn't seen Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's over here saying give him more Vader.
I know this because I'm taking Jace through their first run through the Clone Wars. We haven't got to Obi-Wan yet. I'm taking them through the Clone Wars first before we hit Revenge of the Sith.
Wow, you're dedicated. That's dedication.
Honestly, it's my favorite thing, is getting to take somebody through this universe on their first journey, especially when they know nothing of what to expect.
That is great.
Which incidentally, Jace, you probably shouldn't be watching this, Jace.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that a little bit, but hey, Jace, I appreciate you being here.
Subscribe to the channel.
All right, well, I mean, that's all of my predictions. SE, do you have any others? I mean, feel free to go out of top 5 if you have any others that you want to get mentioned.
I'm going to go with my real world prediction, which is we need more time in the day to actually update everything.
Shoot, yeah, I'm sure y'all do.
So if anybody
100%.
watching wants to join Wookieepedia, everyone is more than welcome to join. There's always room for new editors.
There you go. You can be
Especially
a
since they just
Wookieepedian.
dropped. Especially since they dropped how many new trailers at Celebration?
Like
We need
4,000.
We need help, people.
Oh, well, that's fun. I got a text from my dad. He was like, "How do I become a Wookiepedian?" Dad,
right.
there's your answer.
All right. So the short version for that one, for anyone who actually does want to join, it's as simple as creating an account on fandom, and that'll work on any fandom wiki, be it Star Wars for Wookieepedia, be it Memory Alpha, the Star Trek wiki, or any fandom wiki. You can use this account on, and that lets your actions be attributed to you. It's as simple as that. Beyond that,
I have a fandom account. I should be
perfect. You're way ahead of the curve here.
There
Why
you
aren't
go,
on
man.
yet?
I forgot I had a fandom account.
Add that Wookieepedian name to your title.
I'm updating the Twitter bio right now.
But no, that's the cool thing is that it's as simple as just making an account and having the desire to help improve the site, and that's all it takes to be a Wookieepedian.
Man, I love that. I love that. All right, well, to finish out these predictions, DJ, do you actually mind rolling through the chat and reading the ones that have that hashtag Kenobi4? Do you have the ability to do that?
I do have the ability to do that.
Right.
I do not mind at all.
Sweet,
I'm going to start from the bottom and work our way back up.
Absolutely.
That way I don't have to, scroll a whole lot. But okay, let's start right here with John Hare, who does the music for Mando Talk. He's fantastic. Thank you, John, so much for that.
Thank you, John.
So he says, I would love to maybe see the flashbacks incorporated in a way that Obi-Wan is reflecting on possible weaknesses for Anakin. Maybe they're in battle and he notices a vulnerability.
Ooh, I think that's a good one.
I think it'd be very interesting to see. Okay. Here we got Bling Bling Plays, which I've never seen Bling Bling Plays here in our chat before. So thank you for joining us, Bling Bling Plays. But they said, do you think Cody is going to show up and Cody will fight Obi-Wan? My goodness.
Before the show, I would have said yes, that Cody's going to show up. But now that we've reached that midway point, the only way I see Cody is a flashback, unfortunately.
I can see it a flashback. I don't think they'll fight, though.
No.
I don't think they're going to fight. Okay. Bling Bling also said, do you think Thrawn is going to show up in this show? I'm going to give a good no to that one.
I wish. I really wish. SE, what do you think?
Oh, as much as I would love a Thrawn mention, I think it's too early for that.
Yeah, we need to wait. Let's hold off until Ahsoka.
That's just the natural spot to do it.
Or
the right spot to do it.
Or at the earliest.
Especially with the political little teases and hints that we're going to be getting in that.
Not to mention some of these Canon Thrawn novels. I mean, there's got to be something there that's got a hint. Okay. Another one from Bling Bling. Bling Bling. Do you think we're going to see Obi-Wan fight the fourth sister?
Interesting that you specifically named the fourth sister. I mean, cool. I would love that.
She's a cool background character. I'm not against Obi-Wan fighting anybody.
Maybe the reason why Bling Bling is saying that is and this is where SE's knowledge can come into play.
Yeah.
Does the fourth sister need to be killed before Rebels? Potentially.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
He goes off to check Wookieepedia.
So as I just keep talking, so it seems like I'm not just looking this up right now. But no, as far as I know, we don't actually have anything beyond. We don't actually have anything.
Okay. Well, and that's one thing that's been burning for us is fourth sister.
Yeah, we want to know more about the fourth sister. Yeah. Even if we don't get it, it's okay.
So actually, we do have one thing here, and this is from one of the Star Wars Adventures comics, and that's that the Fourth Armor's sister ended up in the hands of Rebel Alliance Commander Lena Graff. But nothing beyond that. And then Graff used the Fourth Sister's armor, impersonated her, and infiltrated Fortress Vader on Mustafar.
Oh, I need
that's
to read
cool.
that story. Okay. Man. That's freaking awesome. Okay.
I need to read that.
All right, I'm gonna head back over here to the chat. We got the Chiss Ascendancy. They are saying Reva is mentally and emotionally injured woman actually gunning for Vader. So she's actually trying to work her way up to become Emperor Palpatine's apprentice, is what this sounds like.
Wow, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Currently, my interpretation so far has been that she looks up to Vader, but I'm not against that storyline. So maybe.
Well, I'm scrolling back up. That may have been the last one from the chat. So, yeah, I don't think I see anything
with that hashtag.
No more of those hashtags. So let me scroll back to the bottom. No, I'm not seeing any that's come in late. So that would be all of our hashtag Kenobi 4 predictions from the YouTube live chat.
Well, there you go. Well, hey, I mean, this has been awesome. Personally, I did just see here Rafa popped up. Rafa listens to the show always, so let's give a quick shout out to Rafa. In the chat, Rafa says, Obi-Wan's rememberings of the Clone Wars, the responsibility to protect Leia will help him to reconnect with the Force, and Qui-Gon will appear. Master and apprentice will talk together once again. Rafa, I so hope that happens. Hope that
coming
happens.
In with the good stuff all the time.
I see another one. Kane plays. I hope tomorrow we'll get Reva info, Quinlan in episode 5, and Qui-Gon in episode 6. However, that's probably a bit too optimistic. You know what? Did we even mention Quinlan Vos tonight?
Well, SE did.
Did he?
We hinted at him.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean, there's a lot of people, and I saw this somewhere else in the chat. Some people are thinking that O'Shea Jackson's going to play Quinlan Vos, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But, I think Qui-Gon showing up in episode 6 is kind of late. I want to get Qui-Gon in now so we can focus on Vader and Kenobi getting back together again.
Yeah. See, if I'm kind of thinking of the structure of the series, I think it might make more sense for Qui-Gon in episode 5. That way, that's the final pushover for Kenobi to go after Anakin, Darth Vader in episode 6, maybe.
Okay, I see.
Ooh, that could be a good one.
I see you. That's good.
Let's see. Someone in the chat here, Chiss, says Caleb sounds like Theo Von. I don't know who Theo Von is. Hopefully Theo Von's a cool guy.
I don't know Theo.
I like it. I mean, hey, appreciate it. Let's
Chiss
see.
also says hashtag Kenobi 4 Crook. Oh, Crook. It's that little short gray dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get Crook in his freaking sweet hat.
Wait, is that not the guy from Rebels who was?
No, that's you talking about Thrawn's Nagor?
Yeah, his little minion. I don't know what he is.
Rook.
That guy's not
Rook.
Oh, Rook.
You're thinking Rook. No, Rook is a Jedi Master who in Legends and some of the comics, he had this massive hat. And for years, that's always just been the running joke is that it's Rook in his freaking sweet hat.
Oh, that's the guy that was in the background that everybody thought was Cad Bane on Daiyu.
That might have been.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it was Crook.
Let's see. I saw one from Bling Bling again. Oh,
yeah, he said, "Do you think we're going to see the building of the Death Star?"
I wish. Yeah,
we talked about that a little while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so though.
No.
I wish. All right. Well, there you go. There you have it. There's all of our Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4 predictions. There's all of your episode 4 predictions in the chat. Thank you so much to everybody that joined in the chat. This was absolutely incredible. And tell you what, why this was so incredible was the fact that SE of Wookieepedia was willing to come on the show. So SE, thank you so much for coming on with us and nerding out and having fun and sharing your thoughts on Kenobi and predictions. SE, obviously we've kind of talked about it a little bit throughout the show, but where can people, if they don't know by now, where can people check out your work and every Wookieepedian's work out on the interwebs?
Well, if you haven't found us by now, you can just go to Google and type in Star Wars Wiki, and you'll find us at starwars.fandom.com. On Twitter, you can find us at @WookOfficial. And that's if you want to get in contact with us, that'll be the easiest way, just by virtue of the fact that's the one I check the most. You can find us on Instagram at Wookieepedia, and you can also find us on YouTube as Wookieepedia as well.
Well, there you have it. And make sure, everybody, you follow Wookieepedia anywhere and everywhere and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Check everything that they do out. It helps our show. I'm sure it helps so many other Star Wars shows and content creators out there. So special shout out to Wookieepedia. The Star Wars community, honestly, wouldn't be the same without their work. So big shout out. And again, thank you so much, SE. DJ, you've been over there giggling. I don't know what's going on.
So we had, I'm sorry.
More into Argo 6.
No. But somebody else is in the chat. Rafa says hashtag Kenobi 4. Argo 6.
Oh God, Rafa, why?
Oh my gosh. I saw Reddit and I was like, oh my, I just had to fall over.
Oh, hey, Kane Plays. I see Kane Plays in there. Kane Plays is one of our editors.
Oh, nice.
Oh, sweet. Okay. He says we all love some Wookieepedia action. Yes, we do. We have loved Wookieepedia on our show tonight so much. And then there was one final Kenobi prediction. I'm going to throw it in there. And then I'm going to say deuces and toss it back to Caleb. But TK421, hi, Gavin. He says, I'm thinking we could see some sort of live action version of Clone Wars and a flashback, but specifically with the 501st Legion with Anakin and Obi-Wan. Oh, my gosh. Yes, that's awesome.
Yes.
Gavin, come on.
We already had the 501st, the homeless 501st clone.
Yes.
Let's get some more.
Was he a 501st clone?
Yeah, he was by the honor. I believe it was. Yeah. Fun fact.
Awesome.
Also, we had one of our editors had the article for that character completely done within like 3 hours of show launch.
What a yeah! Come on.
It was just like
it's awesome.
Legend.
Well,
that's freaking awesome.
And I think me and DJ made a comment last week that like it's 1 minute after Kenobi is premiered and somehow Wookieepedia is already updated.
Yeah, like I went and looked, like it was like a couple hours after I'd watched. I was like, maybe they updated Quinlan Voss. Yep, he's updated. It was hysterical.
Always on it. Well, again, thank you so much, SE of Wookieepedia, for coming on. Again, make sure you follow all of their work wherever they're at, social medias, YouTube channel. And tell you what, I'll go back and link all of that stuff in the description so you can check that out if you have not done so. But that is this predictions stream episode. We will be back on Thursday live at the same exact time, 6 p.m. Central, for Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4 after show, where we do a spoiler discussion. So make sure you're here. We will have a ton of fun. We'll attempt to break it down the most that we can break it down. Well, and as always, guess what? We're going to get out of here with our tagline of "We have spoken."